Scorpios are often seen as emotionally distant, but the reality is almost the opposite. Many Scorpios feel emotions intensely, yet choose silence instead of expression, not because they do not care, but because emotional exposure can feel risky. And here is what most people misunderstand. That silence is rarely about hiding feelings. It is usually about protecting something much deeper. If you are a Scorpio, this may sound familiar. You feel everything strongly. You notice small changes in energy, tone, and behavior, but instead of reacting immediately, you pause. You observe. From the outside, this can look like distance or coldness. Internally, it is often a moment of intense processing. The mind is trying to understand one thing first. Is it safe to reveal what I actually feel? Scorpios tend to process emotions internally before showing them externally. Psychologically, this usually comes from three patterns. First, emotional intensity. Feelings are experienced deeply, so immediate expression can feel overwhelming. Second, trust calibration. Before opening up, there is a need to understand whether the other person can handle emotional honesty without judgment or misuse. Third, memory. Past emotional experiences teach caution, so emotional control becomes a form of protection. This is why silence often appears before vulnerability. Here is where things become interesting. Hiding emotions is often misunderstood as manipulation or emotional distance. In reality, for many Scorpios, it is about emotional safety. Keeping feelings private creates stability. It allows time to understand what is happening internally before allowing someone else into that space. It is less about secrecy and more about control over emotional exposure. But there is also a challenge inside this pattern. When protection becomes automatic, connection can become difficult. Emotional control is powerful, but real growth starts when awareness replaces automatic defense. Understanding your own emotional patterns allows you to choose consciously. Not every situation requires hiding. Not every moment requires full exposure either. Balance comes from knowing the difference. Many Scorpios are not afraid of emotions themselves. They are afraid of being misunderstood while expressing them. And once you see that, silence stops looking like distance. It starts looking like a form of emotional intelligence. When you understand that emotional silence is often protection rather than indifference, Scorpio behavior starts to make much more sense. The real shift happens when emotional safety is finally felt, because that is the moment when protection slowly turns into trust. And understanding that change is where the deeper story begins.